Alright, so somebody sent me a link video of somebody who went in a stabbing spree. He injured 8 people in a Minnesota mall, and then he was finally killed by an off-duty police officer. So here's just a quick video.
Minnesota, where at least 8 people were stabbed at a shopping mall. This happened just after 8 p.m. local time in St. Cloud, Minnesota, just about an hour outside of the Twin Cities area. According to police, a witness said the suspect made a reference to Allah and asked at least one person if they were Muslim before attacking them. Again, 8 people stabbed, treated for non-life-threatening injuries. 7 were released, and we know the suspect was shot and killed by an off-duty police officer.
The suspect was confronted by an off-duty officer not from St. Cloud and was shot and killed. There's no...
Alright, so you hear it right there. So 8 people are stabbed by this crazy person, and then an off-duty police officer. You know, they got stabbed at the mall, and then an off-duty police officer ended up shooting and killing the suspect. And, you know, great thumbs up to the officer. But notice, they didn't even mention the officer's name. They didn't show a picture, or they didn't mention the officer's name. They didn't show a picture of the officer. This person is just basically like a hidden hero, you know. And these are what I refer to as like people. This is an example like of somebody who's like say like a real martial artist, that he's unknown, he's hidden. He's not like, you know, that, you know, the professional athlete out there. You know, he's just somebody who just trains tactically. He trains for survival, and when it comes down to it, he's the one who really saves lives. He's the one who really survives because he's engaged in real combat. You know, here this person is killing, you know, trying to kill other people, and he steps in and saves the people's lives. This is like a real life hero, you know. And he didn't do it for the money, he didn't do it for the fame, he didn't do it for the glory. He could have very easily ran away from the situation and nobody would even know. He could have very easily just avoided it, ignored it, and let the on-duty police officers show up to take care of the situation. He didn't get any money out of it, you know. He killed somebody. He didn't get money out of it. He didn't get fame out of it. If anything, he puts himself in jeopardy of wrongfully killing somebody or accidentally shooting an innocent bystander, of, you know, going to jail for the rest of his life, you know, or becoming bankrupt from all these lawsuits because he got sued from the suspect's family. He's jeopardizing a lot. He's jeopardizing his own life. So he's not doing it for the money, he's not doing it for the fame, he's doing it out of a compassionate heart to help people. And this is an example of, say, this is like a real martial artist. Somebody who trains in real survival. This is not games, this is not tap out, this is not referee, this is not, oh, you know, let's excite the crowd. There's no video of what happened. There's no, you know, there's not being broadcasted in 4K, you know, definition, and then like everybody's, you know, watching and cheering this whole situation on. This is a real life, deadly situation. This is not for fame. This is not for money. This is real danger, real survival. And he stepped in and made a difference. He didn't even have to be an off-duty police officer. He could have just been a person that's armed legally or maybe even illegally. Just a person that's armed, there to protect himself, his family, innocent bystanders from these crazy people out there looking to just kill people for fun. You know, a lot of times people are like, oh, you know, I don't want to carry this weapon because it's illegal. Well, this person going around stabbing people for fun, that's illegal too. And sometimes you might have to break the law in order to save your own life. Because I'd rather, they always have this saying, you'd rather be judged by 8 than carried by 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, this officer had the firearm legally. He took care of the situation, saved some lives. And this is an example of the real heroes out there. Okay, Muhammad Ali's great, Floyd Mayweather's great, Pacquiao's great, Mike Tyson's great, but these are not heroes. These are just boxers. Okay? When somebody's going on a stabbing spree, killing a bunch of people for fun, you don't turn to the boxer to protect you. You don't turn to the wrestler. You don't turn to the MMA fighter. You turn to the person who trains for survival tactics. You turn to the police officer. You turn to the off-duty police officer. You turn to the person who has concealed carry, who's trained. You turn to the real martial artist who's trained in real survival. Not sport fighting, not taekwondo point sparring, not karate point sparring, not cage fighting, not boxing, not wrestling, not WWE. You turn to the real protectors. It could be a police officer, it could be an off-duty police officer, it could be a real martial artist that's armed, it could be just a trained, armed citizen. He might not even consider himself a martial artist, but if he's trained in the firearms and he's carrying a firearm, he's one of your protectors. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, a real martial artist is trained to survive. He's not doing it for the money, he's not doing it for the fame. He's doing it either out of passion or compassion. This is just what he loves to do. This is what he's meant to do. And God or whoever has put him on this earth to protect the people that need to be protected. And he's sacrificing his own life to protect these people. Notice, they didn't even mention his name. They didn't show a picture of him. But then the Olympics goes on. Oh, Michael Phelps won 23 gold medals. Simone Biles won 5 gold medals. Their names, their pictures, all these endorsements, all these sponsorships. Oh, Usain Bolt won 2 gold medals. All this fame, all this money, all this stuff. They didn't save anybody's lives. They didn't put their lives in the line for anybody. They're there for themselves. They're there to make money. They're there to get fame. But when your life is on the line, you're getting stabbed by a stranger. You're getting shot by a stranger of whom you didn't even do anything to. And then some real martial artist, some police officer, some off-duty police officer, some armed citizen steps in and saves your life. And you don't even give him any money. Nobody's giving him any money. Nobody's getting him any fame. But he just did it out of his heart. Because he's compelled to do it. Because that's what he's meant to do. That's a real hero. You know what I'm saying? Like, not the cage fighter. Not the boxer. Not the WWE wrestler. I'm sorry. These people are not heroes to me. This off-duty police officer that stepped in and took care of the situation, he's a hero. And that's what I'm referring to when I'm talking about real martial artists compared to, like, fighters, sport fighters, street fighters. No matter if it's a sport fighter or street fighter. Okay, you're a street fighter. You fight people for fun on the streets to prove yourself, to become famous. like a Kimbo Slice. That's not a hero. The sport fight is not a hero. The gangbanger who's killing people for fun ain't a hero. The person who went into the mall to kill people for fun is not a hero. The hero is that person that stepped in to save people's lives. Not because he wanted money, not because he wanted fame, but because out of compassion, out of passion of training, that's why martial artists train. They train to survive real deadly encounters. They don't train for sport fighting. Sport fighters don't teach you how to handle these types of situations. There is no scenarios in the cage or in the boxing ring or in the wrestling mat teaching you how to handle this type of situation. A man with a knife, a man with a gun, a man with a bomb, killing people for fun in the mall. You just happen to be in the mall. What do? We're gonna grab your boxing gloves? You're gonna put on your mouth guard? What you gonna do? Do a triangle choke? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. Major difference. And I'm telling you, this article is an example to show that there are real martial artists out there in this world. But the thing is, they're hidden. You don't know their names. You don't know who they are. They're not famous. They probably don't got that much money, but they're out there. And that's an example. That person wasn't even getting paid to do what he did, but he did it anyway. Training for survival is very different than training to win a game. Okay? There's no such thing as a fair fight in the real world. It's not fair that a crazy person just starts stabbing people for fun. That's not fair, but it happens. How do you deal with that situation? Are you prepared? You train day in and day out to prepare for things like that. So you make sure stuff like that doesn't happen to you or any of your family members or even people that are around you where you go. Because if you're properly trained and you're armed, you become a protector. Many times you end up engaging the suspect before the police even receive the phone call of something happening or about to happen. You're engaged right there, right then, and you gotta respond. The quicker you respond, the more lives that you save. And these real protectors, these real martial artists, they're out there. You just don't know who they are. Walk into a mall, and you will not be able to identify who's armed and who's not. Because it could be anybody. And who's the real martial artist and who's the criminal? You don't know. But this is a clear-cut example of the difference between real martial arts training and sport fighting. And when you make that decision to train for the real martial arts, you give up the sport because you know that real life is not a game. This person that pulled out that knife to stab people, he's dead. There's no coming back. It's not a tap out. It's not a knockdown. Dude's dead. There's no room for mistakes in real life. Major difference. And real martial artists don't train for fame and glory and money. They just train because they love to train. They do what they do because it's just in them to do it. So, much respect to the non-corrupted police officers out there that are on duty and off duty. Much respect to the military for protecting this country. Much respect for the real martial artists out there. And the question is, which one are you? Which one are you going to represent?